positives are he jumped it and he left it up, even if he was slightly rushed.
Is it? Make sure you get that one.
Videoing. That was a good round. Hello and welcome to my vlog. It's currently Sunday the 30th of April and we are going to Blackwater Farm. I'm actually on my way to the stables at the moment. I have cleaned my tack. I've bathed him on his body. He's been out in the field for the last 2 days, so he's I've been bringing him in during the day but out at night, so I've been waiting for this morning to wash his legs and I've still got to plait him up as yet. I'm hoping to leave the yard about 8 o'clock. Wish me luck. Hello. So yeah, a little bit has changed since my last vlog. So I've started turning Hardy out overnight, as much as I really just didn't want to because it was cold and I felt really sorry for him. But he's a horse and he is much happier out overnight, which obviously was going to be better for my event. Last time the reason I didn't get to go to my event was because he'd probably been running around a little bit during the day, and for some reason he's just much happier out at night. He's less likely to run around. It's really quiet overnight. There's no one out. There's no one getting their horses in the middle of the night to upset him. Yeah, so I'm getting him in and he looks like Superman because I worked all day yesterday, so I had to actually get him washed and bunched up on Thursday. I was going to vlog it, but yeah, I didn't. Here he comes. Look at him, little Spider-Man. And he's just been walking in a lot more chilled from the field where he's been out. We're going to a show, people. Hi, so the last time I spoke to you, it was about 6:30. and now it is 8 o'clock and I am in the car and I am driving. I've probably left about kind of 5 minutes ago now, and we are on our way. Hardy is plaited up. I've washed his legs this morning. I'd done his body and his mane and his tail the other day and that all looked okay, so I didn't have to do them again. And yeah, loaded up, put everything obviously in the trailer. I'd already boxed everything up, so all I had to do was just put the boxes in the car, and then obviously just remember little bits here and there. And yeah, so feeling ready. I remembered my test. I've ran through it loads of times. I kept running through it a little bit yesterday with my ride, you know, trying to tell them how I learned my test, just by running it through on the floor and learning the pattern of the test. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I took Hardy over to go and jump a little round. It was meant to be at 70 centimetres, which is the same as what I'm doing today, but I didn't manage to. I had a party to go to in the afternoon, so I ended up having to move to a lower class because they were just taking so long to get through all the classes. So I ended up having to jump about either 1'9" or 2 foot, which obviously isn't ideal, but it's better than nothing. And it was quite a big thing actually getting him back out again, because where I ride like silly o'clock in the morning or silly o'clock at night, I end up riding a lot by myself. So warming up in the warm-up arena with all the other horses, warming up, cantering round, trotting round. Sometimes I was behind someone that was trotting or cantering, so it's quite a big thing for him. So actually I was quite pleased that I just went and did a small round, and it didn't feel too... okay, it felt awful. It looked better on the video than it actually felt. It felt really erratic. I think what I was trying to do is keep him steady, and then I rode a bit too steady, and then I ended up, like, as I was coming into the fences, it felt like he was just going from lovely and steady to vroom, and felt a little bit too fast. So I rode him again on Wednesday and jumped a course again, and what I tried to do was ride a little bit more forward round the outside, and then obviously then in between the fences, in between the fences, ride a little bit more forward, and then hopefully in front of the fence he's not feeling like it's such a big change when he starts to like clock onto his jump. But it did feel a little bit fast and furious, but I mean, he was keeping the jumps up, so I really just couldn't complain at him. And I jumped a little bit bigger. I jumped up to the 70 centimetres, so yeah, I'm happy. I'll see you when we get there now. Got about an hour's drive from now, basically. Done 10 minutes, said an hour and 11 minutes on the sat nav when I left. So anyway, over and out. Okay. Oh, he looks so nice. nice.
Hi, how are you? Hiya. How'd you get on? I know, but well, this test the only test I've ever done my whole life.
will insert video even though it's a little bit embarrassing. Can't So, sorry I didn't vlog much while I was at the show. I just don't know how they will have time. It's crazy. Yeah, it wasn't great. You know, the other week when I said about just taking one phase at a time, we started with the dressage, and that was actually pretty good. He walked over to the dressage rings like he was about to explode, and he didn't. He was so cool by the time I had finished. He had really, he'd warmed up well. I gave him plenty of time to warm up. I'd had a good couple of transitions up to canter on both directions, which I need to get him just riding smoothly inside the arena. And he actually rode not a bad test, considering round the outside. I will insert video for you to have a little look, and I haven't watched it back yet, so I don't actually know what it looks like. So I'm hoping if it looks better than it feels, it was great, but we'll see. He was so good. I got a bit emotional actually by the time I'd end up coming up the centre line to finish, because I was so proud of him. And I talked my way through my test. I don't know whether I'd get penalised for that, but I really called my test out to myself. And I found that really helped in the preparation stage, because you call slightly ahead of where you're going to do it. So I started kind of preparing nice and early, which helped me use my seat through my transitions. But then we got on to the show jumping phase. So I left walking the course until after I'd done the dressage, which seemed like a really good idea, and I felt like I had tons of time. But then when it came down to it, I was so rushed, and I ended up getting on 10 minutes before I was meant to be in the show jump ring, which was not a good move. The lady on the warm-up, she was so lovely, and she gave me a little bit of extra time to get him warmed up, but it just wasn't enough. And to be fair, I was looking at the jumps in the warm-up thinking, oh, they're a little bit big to what we had been doing. So I tried to jump him 70 centimetres on Wednesday, a little course, and to be fair, he didn't actually jump that great. He jumped okay. he was just a bit fast and it felt erratic. I changed into my 3-ring, but then this time he wasn't fast and erratic. He was spooky, looky, backing off, and I hadn't been used to that. He was pulling me in the week before. I decided to pull out of the cross country. I'd walked the course and there was some questions on there, and he'd already found the show jumping really overwhelming, and I didn't want to overwhelm him. I could have easily kicked on round there and scraped round and probably got over the first 4 or 5 fences, but I'd just got too big too quick. He's not been jumping that long. And I need to remember that sometimes, that I just need to take things a little bit slower and keep building up and just growing his confidence. So yeah, we took one phase at a time and we only successfully completed one phase. But we'll get there. So my plan now is to do lots of individual shows leading up to another one day, and then maybe doing a slightly smaller one day again, so like the 60 centimetres, and just really building some confidence, because that was a big full up 70, and a lot of people were having stops at either the same couple of fences that I did, really, especially the double. So yeah, we will see, but just need to get out again, go and do some show jumping and see if I can get a couple rounds in. So I do 1 round smaller and then 1 round slightly bigger, and see if I can just keep building up. But looking at the 80, whether I'm going to get around an 80 by the end of this year, I do not know. They didn't look massive until you got to the spreads. And I think the thing with the double as well is that the back part of the double was yellow, and the first part of the double is like a white. So they're coming in and they're looking at the yellow. I don't know what they're looking at, but to me, I wonder whether they're looking at the yellow and they're just taking their concentration. That's probably why it's in there, to make people ride. We went from a really successful first outing in 2021 in September, where I came 7th, just the 4 faults in the show jumping and clear round the cross country, and just got so much confidence, and I was feeling quite confident until I sat on, was riding the course. And last time I warmed up, didn't give myself enough warm up in the dressage, but then warmed up enough for the show jumping, and this time I've done it the other way around, which got me eliminated. But onwards and upwards. I think you've got to take the positives. You just got to take the positives, and there was some good bits. There was some good bits in the dressage, and there was good, confident canter to start my round. It just didn't transfer through to my round.